Well, we have some pretty good conditions to start the day today as we look at your State Farm road conditions. Not too much to talk about overall, actually, so some good news there. There are some wet spots out there, though, that may not show up on the road report this morning just because we see some showers out there, so brace yourself for that. But at least it's not icy as we see some very warm temperatures across southwest Montana. Here's a beautiful shot of one of our Montana snapshots. Once again, a beautiful, I love the stormy skies over Butte, but most of us don't like to see the storms, but we definitely need that moisture. Here's a shot for you. Once again, send them to photo@kbzk or kxlf.com. Love to show them all on the air when we get the chance. As we look at what's going on across the Pacific Northwest, well, we have a few clouds and a few showers, and that's about the story for the day today. Still want to stay at least on the warm side of our normal temperatures across the Pacific Northwest, 60s and 70s for the most part, even an isolated 80 up toward Glasgow today. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, maybe an isolated sprinkle as we drop back down to those 30s and 40s. We'll be right back.
Your accurate forecast from Adam Bell starts now with Storm Tracker weather on Montana's news station.
Well, welcome back. And after we had a beautiful weekend, we're slowly taking steps backwards as temperatures drop and clouds increase across southwest Montana. And you can see that on the satellite radar composite as well. But why not show you with our live shot of our iCam this morning? Let's go outside and take a look and see what's going on live over in the mining city. You can see the roadways are just a little bit wet, but the cloud cover is very thick out there. And it looks like that trend is going to continue for the next several days. As we go look at the temperatures, we're actually looking at a pretty mild start actually over in the mining city, 45 degrees, almost a tenth of an inch of precipitation already falling across the area since midnight. Once again, some isolated showers are possible throughout the day today. Over in the Bozeman area, we've also seen some scattered showers, light rain at the last hour. So a little bit of a wet start this morning, but I do expect most of the day to be dry, but the clouds will stick around. Here's what's going on. This is the low pressure that caused the showers late yesterday into this morning, but it's going to slowly start sliding on out, and we see cloudy skies continue, but then by late tomorrow going into your Thursday and even Thursday afternoon, we have another front approaching the area, bringing another chance for some more showers and some steady rain, especially west of the divide. So brace yourself for some wet weather over the next little bit. High temperatures today, we're still looking at 60s and 70s under a mixture of sun and clouds, more clouds than sun for the most part though. Partly cloudy tonight, still mild though, as we drop down to the 30s and 40s for those overnight lows. And the Gallatin Valley also looking at a very similar weather pattern, partly cloudy skies throughout the day today, 60s and 70s, but then back down to the 30s and 40s for our overnight lows. Dan?
All right.
Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Montana's news station.
Hi there, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 19th, that is, and I'm Dan Boyce. I'm in for Beth Savo today. And Bell is right where he's supposed to be, though.
Happy hump day, by the way.
Oh, yes. Happy hump day to you, too,
We're getting
Adam.
there slowly toward the weekend. Unfortunately, as we get closer to the weekend, the weather's not getting any better.
Oh.
So, you know, brace yourself for some wet weather this weekend. If you have any outdoor
look at
plans,
that picture.
pack the umbrella for sure. But as we look at the picture here over in Butte, this is what it's going to look like over the next several days across the area. Another beautiful Montana snapshot. Send them on in to photo@kbzk or photo@kxlf.com. Love to show all of the beautiful sights across southwest Montana. As we look at the satellite radar composite, there are some scattered showers out there this morning. They should die down pretty quick, but the clouds are going to hang tough, and we're going to stay on the cooler side of since the last couple of days, but still above normal as we get into the 60s today in the mining city. In Bozeman, still one more day of the 70s, but 60s and 50s are in our future cast, and I'll show you that in my 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
Your accurate forecast from Adam Bell starts now with Storm Tracker weather on Montana's news station.
Well, welcome back. We're looking at least a fairly quiet day so far across the Pacific Northwest. You can see quite a bit of some showers and thunderstorms out toward the Midwest, and that is continuing to move on east, and that's actually associated with the low that gave us our showers that we saw yesterday and a few of them this morning as well. But the moisture is much needed across southwest Montana. Let's take a look at the Gallatin River outside of Four Corners. I took this video yesterday, and you can see the water levels are actually on their way up. They've been rising for the last little bit, but the river level, at least outside Gallatin Gateway, is at about 3 to 3.5 feet. But that's still nowhere near where we should be for this time of the spring season. We should be on its way much above that. Its flood stage is at 6 feet, but here's a look at all the precipitation numbers for the month of May, and this is percentage of normal. Now, if we had what we should have for the month, we'd be at 100%. So everyone across southwest Montana is dry for the month of May, and despite the fact that it seems like it's been cool and unsettled the entire month, we still need lots of more moisture across the area, and I think Mother Nature is going to give us just that over the next little bit, as we're going to see plenty of the wet stuff over southwest Montana starting maybe as early as tomorrow. I think today we're looking at mainly dry conditions, but we definitely do need that moisture across the region. Here, your high temperatures today still not too bad as we get into the 60s and 70s. An isolated shower or two is possible, but for the most part, we should be on the dry side. Overnight tonight, we're looking at temperatures down to the 30s and 40s under just partly cloudy skies. And looking at the next 7 days, there's where all that moisture starts moving on in. You can see a wet pattern settling on in, and we can see 50s for high temperatures, especially over the weekend. And in the mining city, we could see 40s for highs over the weekend. So cooler weather moving on into southwest Montana. Now let's take a look at your money watch.
The oil
Your accurate forecast from Adam Bell starts now with Storm Tracker weather on Montana's news station.
Well, another look at your forecast is showing that we're looking at unsettled weather moving on into southwest Montana, but we're looking at least at a decent start for the day today as we see just mostly cloudy skies and dry conditions on your State Farm road report. But as we look at what's going on across the state, you can see those isolated showers out there, so I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a sprinkle, especially early on this morning. But your school bus forecast for the day today, not looking too bad. Cloudy skies, slight chance for that shower, still into the 70s though, so a fairly warm afternoon. And as we jump the divide over to the mining city, also looking at a pretty decent day, still in the mid-60s, but once again, watch out for those few showers. Now, as we look at the next 7 days, we're actually looking at some unsettled weather moving on in. You can see that rain possibly on a Saturday. Good chance almost every day for at least a shower or two. Similar conditions in the mining city as well, so cooler weather moving on in to southwest Montana. Dan?
Thank you, Adam Bell. All right, Adam, how are those roads looking?
Roads are looking pretty good. There are a few wet spots out there this morning, Dan, but we're not looking too bad. There are still some sprinkles out there, but expect cloudy skies today, so sunglasses may not be necessary as you head into work as we had earlier in the week. And we're going to still get into the 60s and 70s today, so some good news there. But as we head into the evening hours tonight, maybe an isolated sprinkle, 30s and 40s. But the next 7 days, well, you may want to cover your eyes for this forecast because it's not looking too good. You can see the 60s dropping down into the 50s in the Bozeman area with good chance of some scattered showers almost every single day. And then as we head over to the mining city, we're also looking at some cooler, more unsettled weather moving on into the region as well. So some not so great weather over the next little bit. And you can see those 40s for high temperatures, especially as you head Saturday into Sunday. So the weekend weather not looking so great. So if you have any outdoor plans, bundle up because it'll definitely come in handy. Dan?
All right, well, we need that moisture. Thanks, everybody, for watching.